from my agent. I didn't find out. It was on the blacklist, which is the best unproduced scripts in Hollywood, the caviar of scripts. And I found out my agent sent me 3 scripts. And your agent, you can always tell when they really like something. They go, hey, read these things. But Mark, check out this one. Check this one out. And my agent did that a few times. You know, with the computers now, I have a hard time reading when they send. So actually, I threw Broken City in the trash 2 times.
Wow. What?
I never told that story before.
Why?
I read that I wasn't a, you know, something about people and human beings, artists, whatever. You don't never know what they're going through when they get something. And whatever I was going through, I read the first page and I was like, I don't understand this shit. You know? Okay. Wow. And then something happened where I remember the narrative, and I was in a good place. I said, oh, it's got a great heavy, and it's got a great lead, you know, a great heroic redemption story there. Well, thank God now you can drag it out of the trash. So I drug it out of the trash, and I read the first 20. I was like, oh shit, how did I miss this? The power corrupts, and it corrupted Billy Taggart early in his career, and that's kind of where the movie starts, you know. You see how I came all the way back around?
It's a huge miscarriage of justice.
Yes, that's true. That's the justice thing.
She didn't have a voice anymore.
Right.
So, and it wasn't like we didn't know who was responsible for it, right. And also preventing that from happening to somebody else. Now, that's not the way the system works. So, obviously, you know, when Billy decides, okay, I'm going to take on the mayor, there is this possibility that my dark secret will come to light, and I may have to pay the consequences for that, but I'm willing to do that because there is, again, a lot more at stake. So if I have to sacrifice myself to either make sure there's not another Yesenia Berea, or the people of Bolton Village aren't thrown out into the street, and more people are, you know, people that already have are getting more, and the people that have less are getting slapped.
Is that what drew you to the character, like kind of the vigilante edge?
It just reminded me of the movies I grew up watching with my dad. You know, the great '70s character-driven movies where you had just real guys and real situations, and you know, just felt like it was something real. It didn't feel like you were necessarily watching a movie. There was an
Let me answer that question.
That wasn't directed to Mark. We'll let Alan answer the first part. We'll let him answer the first part.
I'll do the first part. Let me tell you something. Mark is he's very respectful of the filmmaker. He's very respectful of his fellow actors, and I mean, to let even people play, and then he gets in there and plays. When we get to the physical scenes, it's like a kid in a sandbox. He jumps right in there. I just step back, and he's like Peyton Manning. He's calling plays. He's getting everybody, and he's good. I mean, he's really good at the physical stuff. I just really step back, and you can go and take the ball from here and talk about why it looks so real, by the way.
I'll be honest with you. I love beating the shit out of people. But I don't like getting the shit kicked out of me. So now at 41 and being a father of 4, if it's something where I'm just going to jump out of the window and land on a car and hurt my back, hell no. I got 2 guys that look just like me ready to go. But in this particular movie, we wanted the fights to be very real. You know, there wasn't a lot of violence shown on the screen, but the violence that we did show, we wanted it to be impactful. And how do you do something that's been done over and over and over unless you actually go and make it look real? You know, we didn't want to all of a sudden you have this kind of slow, methodical film, and all of a sudden you hear chop, cuts everywhere, dudes getting kicked in like the Bourne Identity fight. So it was like, just put the camera there. Trust me, this guy can take the ass whooping 20 times. If we can't get it in 20 takes, we're not going to get it anyway.
By the way, a real ass whooping. I'm talking about like, real connection, real to the ribs.
So when you watch it again now, and you see the fight scene like in Staten Island, or after I get off the wagon, and I'm like going crazy through the East Village, those are all real guys, and we were hitting each other, and yeah.
There's all those brothers tumble mentality.
Yeah. Oh, of course, I was doing this at 9, so I couldn't wait till I could kick somebody down.
I think that's my mind right there. So him and I, but he definitely made me tough. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, being the youngest is an issue.
But I hate the whole when people say, "Oh, I did all my own stunts," and it's a ploy to try to make themselves look cool. I just got back into working out. I had a very long, hard year. Made 4 movies this year, and starting with Broken City, and then I played a bodybuilder after Allen. did not like my initial appearance, so I had to lose as much weight as possible for Broken City, and then I had to gain as much weight for the bodybuilding movie, and then I had to lose it a month after that for the movie with Denzel and Two Guns, and then I had to,
he should write a book on this shit.
then I had to play a Navy SEAL, so I had to go through full SEAL training after that. So I took a month off of not doing anything, but I just started exercising. I'm in my 4th week now. We talked about it. I slipped my favorite casting person the script long before Alan had agreed to meet with her. Just because if anything, I could get ideas from her and we could talk. And then Alan was nice enough to take a meeting. They fell in love. But she had brought it up early on. You know, she was a big Jeffrey fan. I had seen him in Top Dog, Underdog, and never had a chance to work with him. And it was like, God, if we can get him, because we didn't have the FU money to just pay whoever we wanted. You know, we had to get people to respond to the material, which that's why everybody is in the movie, because they love the parts. Everybody had nice, meaty, juicy roles to play, and you know,
it wasn't the money that got him.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, but I certainly wanted him bad enough to offer a piece of my back end to, you know.
Okay. So what was it like actually working scenes with him and everything?
It's great. I mean, he's an intense guy.
He seems like he's intense.
But he's real and he's funny and he's, you know, he's loose. I think he just gotta, you know, he's like Philly. Where's he from? DC.
Yeah.
DC.
He's like Philly and he's like DC. You gotta earn that respect, and you know. But once you do, it's, you know, it's cool. And I tell you, me and him, he realized a little later on that I don't fuck around. And when we're doing scenes, I'm going to throw you curveballs. I'm going to say shit to you. So I started saying shit to him, and he's like, oh, shit. He's like, okay. All right, game on. And then he came back.
Oh, yeah, that was something else.
So we were improvising a lot, and I remember, I said, Alan, watch me. He's really funny. He realized the kind of thing we were doing. He came back with that whole scene about, you know, putting the mirror, there's going to be a monkey in the cage, and sucking bananas with him. Yeah. All that stuff. He had a whole thing that he had come up with. I don't think it's all ended up in the movie.
No, it's not in the movie. He said, so you potato chip eating virus. You motherfucker, you know.
The part you took out.
That's a good one.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I feel like you're the king of adding, like, this really funny and comedic element to even these gritty, hardcore roles. Like, how do you
always
do that?
tried it. I'm the king of talking shit. I grew up snapping on people and getting snapped on my whole entire life. And you had to really get creative. You know, my parents are poor. It's nothing worse than going to the store with food stamps and, you know, you're just getting it and hearing it from everybody, or wearing my brother's sneakers and everything. So you always had to be quick-witted and also quick to do whatever you had to do physically to protect yourself. So I have a lot of real-life experience, and that's what I think benefits me as an actor. It gives me an edge than a lot of guys who don't, because, you know, I've seen and done a lot of things. And I think with all those things, you need to have, you can't just be so straight and so serious. You got to have loose and edge, and these guys talk shit and insult each other all the time. So
just kind of looking at you guys and seeing you interact, it's just like this crazy chemistry. How did you meet and how did you come to work with each other on this film?
I don't remember when I first met Mark, but I remember we were hugging, whatever that means. I know we really were, you know, and it was warm. And the second time I met him, we were hugging, and that's it. You know, hey, what's up? How you doing? Kept moving. And third time it was the same thing. And the fourth time I read the script, and I was like, this would be perfect for him. And I had been a fan of a bunch of his movies, and I saw him like I saw a lot of actors that I admire, in a moment that made me go, oh, aha, the aha moment, which was the Departed. And I think that's where he really got to show that stuff you guys talking about, where his natural ability, and I think where he actually is probably more brilliant than any actor out there. He has a innate ability to snap like that, be funny, be edgy, and I don't know what it is. All in the same moment. You know, you can turn it on, and it's a real life experience thing. So we first met. I didn't see the side where he wanted to beat my ass first.
The other thing is, which allows you to really be in that moment and space all the time, is I read the script out loud at least twice a day.
Never heard of that.
Really?
For about 8 weeks before we even start shooting. So I know the whole script back and forth. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about something that we haven't shot yet, so maybe the people aren't so prepared and familiar with the script, that it's still going to apply to the movie, to the story, to maybe the next thing that happened, or something that's happened before but we haven't shot yet, because you're usually not shooting in sequence. So I think my preparation also helps me to be very kind of aware of exactly where we are, what's going on. I even go back and while we're shooting, read the scenes that we've already shot. Because again, if we're shooting out of order, you want to be familiar with everything that's happening.
I don't even do that.
And the other thing with Alan was, to answer your question, is that he felt like
open my ass up.
He felt like he was the only black director that I hadn't worked with yet.
Yeah, I did.
He brought that up today too.
You go tripping with that?
No, I was like, yo, man.
And it's all younger guys.
You work with every black director.
John Singleton,
what's the problem? Oh, Spike Lee too.
Then no, I told him today that I didn't work with Spike. We almost did, and he didn't feel so bad. I've never studied acting, but there isn't anything that I won't do to prepare for a part and to become the part, whether it entails research, working rehearsals. If somebody wanted me to take a class, I would take it. I think it's good for actors just to stay active. Like even when I was in between movies, I would just shoot my own movies. You know, I directed probably 10 shorts, like crazy out there shit. I gotta show you my one movie I did called Dan Van Damme. we come to Hollywood. We were in the secret army with Van Damme in Belgium, and he came to Hollywood. He basically divulged all of our martial arts secrets, so we come to kill him.
And, you might be interested.
And then he ends up killing us. It's classic, dude. And we're all doing this Van Damme accent where they talk like this. But no. When I decided that I wanted to make movies, after the first movie I made, I really felt like I found my niche. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop making music. Even though I did some songs for soundtracks, the only time I continued to make music was overseas, so I could basically finance my attempt at becoming a credible actor. So, because I never wanted to take a movie for money, I would go overseas. I would go to Germany or elsewhere and tour, make money, then come back and then just, you know, try to find the next good role that will help me slowly start building a resume and eventually, you know, become a respected actor.
How do you balance being a producer and an actor at the same time? Because you're one of the few actors that I know of that's really been successful with being both.
Well, it's all, for me, it all kind of works as one, even if I'm producing something that I'm not in. You know, I've never wanted to just be an actor. I have this business sense about me anyway. So ultimately, everything I'm involved with, I want to control, I want to own. I want, you know, I want to do it all, and I want to also be able to create opportunities for other people, you know, that are really talented, that haven't gotten a shot yet. Well, I just wanted to start a foundation where I could benefit inner city and at-risk youth and kids growing up in situations like myself. I got into a lot of trouble because I never really had anybody that I could look to and identify with and be inspired by and say, oh, okay, well, this guy did something other than, if you were either going to be a cop or a crook or be an athlete, and if you weren't one of those, you were screwed. So, and it wasn't cool to want to be in the arts and, you know, to be an actor or to be creative in that way, you know, that was just another thing to get you, you know, picked on or jumped or whatever else. But then I just felt like, you know, I can't forget about where I came from.